7. Saving our settings. It's time to update the settings. We'll be taking a look at a special kind of action hook. In the resources section, I provide a link to the admin_post_hook codex page. As you can see, this hook is a bit more dynamic than the other hooks. WordPress provides a format for this hook. It's admin_post_, followed by the action name. The action name is defined in our form. In the previous course, we created a hidden input field with the name of action and value of ju_save_options. So, here's what happens when we submit this form. If a request is sent to admin-post.php, then the admin_post_hook will run. WordPress will check for a post or get variable named action and append its value to the admin_post_hook to determine which function will run. Inside the init function, I'm going to add our action hook here. Since we named our hook ju_save_options, the name of this hook will be admin_post_ju_save_options. The function I'm going to run is ju_save_options. As you can see, it's the same name of our action. You don't have to do this. You can name this function whatever you want. I do this because it's much simpler to know which function belongs to which action, and it's simple. So now we have to create this function. However, I'm not going to include it from the init function. Instead, I'm going to include it from the functions file. First, we have to create this file. I'm not going to create it inside the includes folder. This is because I want to keep things organized. For files that process data, I want to store those inside a different folder. I'm going to create a folder inside Tour Themes folder called Process. While this is not required by WordPress, I suggest you do things like this to make things more manageable. Inside this folder, I'm going to create a file called save-options.php and define our function inside this file. Now I'm going to include this file from the functions file. Inside our new function, I want you to output the $_post array. I'm going to echo out some pre-tags to format it, and then I'm going to kill the script. Let's refresh our page, and we should see everything working just fine. Let's fill in the fields. I'm not going to upload a file just yet. Inside our footer field, I'm going to add some generic text, and I'm going to add an HTML link since we allow users to do that. If we submit this form, you'll see our data being neatly outputted and formatted. Now that we've confirmed our form is being properly submitted, we should check if it's being submitted by a trusted user. There are 2 steps we're going to take to prevent malicious behavior. First, we're going to check the user's current capabilities. In an earlier lecture, we talked about capabilities and roles briefly. We'll be using the same capability we used the last time to display this page. Let's empty out our function, and then inside a conditional statement, I want you to call the function current_user_can. This function is provided to you by WordPress. What it will do is check the current logged in user's capabilities and see if that user can perform a certain capability passed in by you. Since we want to use the same capability we used to display the page, I'm going to grab that capability from our menus function and just paste it in here. I'm going to check if this function returns false, and if it does, I'm going to kill the script using wp_die. Inside the die function, I'm going to pass in a simple message and make it translatable. You are not allowed to be on this page. This is one way to prevent attacks. Next, we're going to check the nonce WordPress generated for us. This is actually pretty simple. WordPress provides a function called check_admin_referrer. This function must be past the nonce we created. Inside our form, we called this nonce ju_options_verify. So, let's pass that info into our function. This function will check not only the nonce, but the page that was referred. We're not going to put this function inside a conditional statement, because this function will simply kill the script if it turns out to be false. We can now start processing the form data and save it. We're going to grab our ju_opts option so we can override its options. The first option we want to update is the Twitter option. We're going to set this value to its equivalent $_post variable, which is ju_input Twitter. I'm going to wrap this variable inside a function called sanitize_text_field. This function will remove any HTML or malicious code from our input and just leave it as text. This function is provided to you by WordPress, and I highly suggest you use it. I'm going to do the same for the Facebook and YouTube options. For the logo type, I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of using the sanitize_text_field function, I'm going to use a function called absint or absent. This function does two things. It returns a value that is an integer and is an absolute value. This function is also provided to you by WordPress, and I highly recommend that you use it. For the footer, I'm not going to sanitize it as we want to allow HTML. However, you should know that the Options API will sanitize input for you anyway, so we're going to get a wonky result for our footer, but we'll deal with that later. I'm not going to cover uploading a logo image in this lecture, but in a future one, so I skipped the logo image input for now. Next, we're going to use a function called update_option. This function has two parameters, which is the name of the option to update and the updated value. After calling this value, it's time to redirect our user back to the settings page. WordPress provides a handy function called WP_redirect. For this purpose, this function accepts one parameter, which is the URL to redirect to. I'm going to use the admin_URL function so that we always get this admin URL even if the user changed it in the WordPress installation. This function has one parameter as well, which is the path relative to the admin URL. I'm going to copy and paste the URL from our URL bar and paste it in here like so. I'm also going to pass in an extra get variable called status and set its value to 1. By doing this, I can check if this value is set, and if it is, I can display a message about the status of the update. I'll show you what I mean soon. Let's try submitting Outform, and if everything worked out, we should see no errors and be redirected back to our options page. Perfect. Now we face 3 more problems. Our fields aren't showing updated values, there's no message to let the user know that the update was successful, and we can't upload logos. We'll solve these issues in the next lecture.